Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it, especially if you love the movies?
Tango Shalom is now available on all VOD
major platforms. I think we messed that up.
Video on demand, or as they say in the trade, VOD.
VOD.
Tango
Shalom is now available on all VOD platforms,
which means
video on demand.
Look how you know. You must be a high school graduate.
I'm a college graduate.
Really?
Yes.
I got an honorary degree from Hofstra. Did you get an honorary degree?
No, I got a degree.
Oh, well, I got honorary. You know, I'm in the Jewish Museum.
What for?
What do you mean? As a famous Jew in the Bronx. I'm in the famous...
I'm in the Prospect Park in the Stones.
How big is the stone?
Observations with Robert Meyer Burnett.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, your existential Mr. Rogers, whatever names you all care to hang on me. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett, and this is the Hollywood Half and Half. Whether you're on the half shell, whether you're riding the half pipe, or you're still half in the bag from last night, this is your half-hour blast, and your cup must be full of half and half of entertainment news. This is, of course, December 2nd. My God, rushing headlong to get rid of another year. Wow. By the way, let me just... That is some Trader Joe's coffee, and it is a damn fine cup of coffee with organic half and half, of course. Let's just find out, what entertainment news do I have for you today? Well, you knew it was coming. Disney. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. Disney named Susan Arnold to succeed my man Bob Iger as chairman of the board. That's right. She'll begin her tenure as chairman on December 31st, right before the New Year's Eve party begins, when Iger is set to leave Disney. The Walt Disney Company's board of directors has, this comes, by the way, from J. Clara Chan, board of directors has named Susan Arnold, a 14-year member of the board, as its new chairman to succeed outgoing chair Bob Iger. Arnold will begin her new role December 31st after Iger leaves Disney at the end of the year. Quote, Susan is an incredibly esteemed executive whose wealth of experience, unwavering integrity, and expert judgment have been invaluable to the company since she first joined the board in 2007, Bob Iger said on Wednesday in a statement. Susan is the perfect choice for chairman of the board, and I am confident the company is well positioned for continued success under her guidance and leadership. It has been a distinct honor to work with Susan and our many other talented directors, and I'm incredibly grateful for the support and wise counsel they've provided during my tenure. Since 2018, Arnold has been the independent lead director of Disney. Outside of the Walt Disney Company, Arnold has held executive positions at the Carlyle Group, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's, and NBTY Incorporated, formerly known as Nature's Bounty. In a separate statement, Arnold expressed, I want to point out that Disney is an entertainment company. Procter & Gamble, the Carlyle Group, McDonald's, and Nature's Bounty. See, corporate people. I'm telling you, storytelling. Storytelling seems to come second. But anyway, I wish her well. In a separate statement, Arnold did express her deepest gratitude to Iger, who stepped down as CEO in February of 2020 and assumed the executive chairman role through the end of his contract, which ends December 31st. She says, Bob has led Disney to amazing heights, both creatively and financially, with his clear strategic vision for delivering high-quality branded storytelling, embracing cutting-edge technology, and expanding internationally, and he's left an indelible mark on the Walt Disney Company that will be felt for generations to come, Arnold said. As I step into this new role as chairman of the board, I look forward to continuing to serve the long-term interests of Disney shareholders, working closely with CEO Bob Chapek as he builds upon the company's century-long legacy of creative excellence and innovation. It's, of course, a decades-long career ender at Disney for Bob Iger, who first held an executive position at Disney in 1996. So that's pretty exciting. I mean, change is good. We'll see what happens. Obviously, people love Bob Iger. We'll see where all of that goes. But hey, it's pretty exciting. Speaking of Disney, and as everyone says, Rob, we don't want to hear about executive shuffles. We don't want to hear about anything except movie and Marvel news. Well, you know what? This is the Hollywood Half and Half, and you get a little bit of everything. That's what makes it a good show. And today, we're going to hear about, oops, wait, what? You're in suspense, aren't you? I can tell. That's right, Maria Hill. Maria Hill is coming back. That was my stupid attempt to make a secret invasion joke. Colby Smulders is coming back as Maria Hill, which once again makes me realize I shouldn't have slept on that Hot Toys Maria Hill figure. Now it's going to go up unless they make one from the show. Colby Smulders is set to return with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury on Marvel's Secret Invasion, reprising her role as Maria Hill. The Disney Plus crossover event showcases a faction of shape-shifting Skrulls who have been infiltrating Earth for years. A rep for Marvel, of course, declined comment. Secret Invasion also stars Ben Mendelsohn, reprising his role as the Skrull Talos, Olivia Colman, Emilia Clarke, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Christopher McDonald from the Star Trek The Next Generation episode Yesterday's Enterprise, and Get Your Butt Back Here, Thelma and Louise. Smulders has reprised the role in several Marvel picks, including Spider-Man Far From Home, Captain America Civil War, and every Avengers film. She recently received strong reviews for her portrayal of Ann Coulter in American Crime Story Impeachment. You know what? I have to object. How can you have her play Ann Coulter? I mean, I understand how, but come on. That doesn't seem fair. What can we say? I mean, what are you going to do? I guess there's nothing you really can do. Anyway, you know what else we got? We got more Marvel news because, here we go. Spider-Man No Way Home coming out. Not since Endgame have we, wasn't that long ago, but Spider-Man No Way Home tickets burning up the charts craziness, which is a good thing. I mean, did anybody expect really anything less than this? Spider-Man No Way Home swings to record advance ticket sales as movie theaters keep wary eye on the Omicron variant. I'm sorry. I mean, I keep thinking Omicron is a planet in the Star Trek universe, but that's fine. It can be a virus now if you want. What can you do? So this comes to us from Rebecca Rubin and KJ Yasmin in Variety. Movie theaters across the globe have been experiencing a kind of pent-up demand that hasn't been seen in a while. At the center of stratospheric anticipation is everyone's favorite neighborhood web-slinger who takes the spotlight in Sony's Spider-Man No Way Home, the comic book epic, which serves as the culmination of the Tom Holland-led trilogy and co-stars Zendaya as MJ and Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, hits theaters on December 17th. When tickets went on sale on November 29th, some online sites crashed because they had trouble keeping up with demand. Hundreds of showtimes sold out immediately, leaving theater owners to hastily add as many additional screenings as their venues could realistically handle. Immediately selling out showtimes in this economy, it's a welcome champagne problem for the beleaguered movie theater business after big-budget tentpoles like No Time to Die, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings started the box office's slow recovery. Spider-Man No Way Home presents the best chance yet to reinvigorate ticket sales and bring audiences back to the cinemas. Online ticketing service Fandango reported Spider-Man No Way Home has shattered its pre-release records for 2021, beating out Marvel's Black Widow. Impressively, it's keeping up with films that premiered prior to COVID-19, resulting in Fandango's best first-day advance ticket sales since 2019's superhero smash Avengers Endgame, which ultimately debuted to a head-spinning $357 million. On Fandango, No Way Home is actually outpacing, this is pre-pandemic, is outpacing blockbuster titles such as Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man Far From Home, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Though No Way Home is expected to notch a heroic start at the domestic box office, news of robust pre-sales does not necessarily mean Holland's latest Spider-Man adventure will beat or even match opening weekend tallies for Infinity War, which is $258 million, The Last Jedi, which is $220 million, or The Rise of Skywalker at $177 million. It just, when you buy tickets beforehand, it means that there's solid anticipation amongst the property's core fan base, but it doesn't always translate to inaugural box office records. Since the pandemic, general audiences have gotten in the habit of purchasing tickets early to snag seats that aren't too close to other customers. For a lot of theatergoers, seating placement is much more important now than in pre-pandemic times, given that social distancing is a major component of being safe and feeling safe these days, says Jeff Bach, a box office analyst with Exhibitor Relations. Beyond bragging rights to be among the first to watch Peter Parker grapple with the fallout of the whole world finding out his identity, AMC Theaters partnered with Sony to offer 86,000 NFT, or non-fungible tokens, to A-list subscribers who buy tickets to December 16th screenings. Count me crazy, but if you're giving out 86,000 NFTs, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of what an NFT is supposed to be? I don't know, because I've read things, I've watched things. I still don't understand the appeal of NFTs. I get it, blockchain and all that. Maybe I should have someone come on the show and just do an NFT show and explain it. Just explain it in simple terms with flashcards and maybe, point of purchase or a PowerPoint presentation, point of purchase. Anyway. But I'm telling you, it's all big. It's all great. They're blasting through sales, scalping tickets. No, it's nuts. Spider-Man, well, you're doing a good job. And who doesn't want that to be the case? I mean, we all love Spider-Man, don't we? I mean, I know. I certainly do. And so do you. So this next one, I'm kind of excited about this, to be honest. Anne Rice. Now, I've been an Anne Rice fan since I read Interview with a Vampire. I first read Anne Rice when Vampire Lestat was coming out, and I'd never read Interview with a Vampire. I read Interview with a Vampire, and then I read Vampire Lestat, her second Vampire Chronicles novel. But she also wrote a series of books about the Mayfair Witches, and both are now coming to TV. They announced Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches series is a go at AMC. Leslie Goldberg tells us this from The Hollywood Reporter. With The Walking Dead, Better Call Saul, and Killing Eve all set to end in 2022, AMC is wasting little time in building out its next franchise. The basic cable network has handed out a series order for Anne Rice's Lives of the Mayfair Witches, which joins Interview with a Vampire at AMC. The formal green light comes 3 months after AMC announced it was developing Mayfair as the next show in its Rice universe. To be fair, this was a book thing. It's not like they decided, let's do the Anne Rice universe. So this does come out of the literary traditions of her books. The 8-episode series will be written and exec produced by Masters of Sex duo Esther Spalding and Michelle Ashford. That's Ashford. Did I say that? Masters of Sex. It's Ashford. Spalding, who has an overall deal with AMC, will serve as showrunner on Mayfair Witches, which is produced internally at AMC Studios. Where are her Sleeping Beauty books? I mean, we had to suffer through Christian Grey. Bring on Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty books. All of you out there know what I'm talking about. And the ones that don't, get on it. Sleeping Beauty, Anne Rice, check it out. Believe me, you'll call the Bobster and say, yo, those Sleeping Beauty books, you were right. I know. It's a curse, a burden. But hey, I was right. This next story, Home Alone. You can rent the Home Alone house on Airbnb. Can you believe that? Airbnb. Kevin is, of course, not included. Bruce Herring says this in Deadline. Here's a Christmas rental where you can truly bring the family. Airbnb is offering a one-night-only rental of the famed McAllister family home in Winnetka, Illinois. Your stay will be hosted by Kevin's older brother, Buzz McAllister. Though we're older and wiser now, I've even got my own security firm, we're never too old for holiday hijinks. So while we're away on vacation, all of us this time, I'm inviting one crew of mischief makers to let their inner 8-year-olds run free in my childhood home on December 12th, said a statement on Airbnb from Buzz, played by Devin D. Rattray, who plays Buzz as a police officer in Home Sweet Home Alone. everyone's favorite reboot and sequel of the original 1990 classic holiday flick. Booking for the one-night stay will open on December 7th. By the way, not just a day that will live in infamy, but also this year, the 42nd anniversary of the release of Star Trek, the motion picture. No price has been set as yet, and guests will be responsible for their own travel. I mean, come on. This, I would think, would be dangerous because whoever's going to rent this house is going to set up traps. They're going to fill it with snow, whatever the hell you do in that Home Alone house. I haven't seen all the sequels. I don't know all the scenarios. But you can't just rent it and sleep in it. You've got to have your whole family recreate the scenes. What's the insurance on something like that going to be? I can't even imagine. After you've worked up an appetite, you can feast on all the comfort food your heart desires, including plenty of Chicago's finest pizza and a candlelit dinner of microwavable Kraft macaroni and cheese, the listing states. Then when you're ready to wind down, you can enjoy a viewing of the film franchise's newest holiday adventure, Home Sweet Home, on Disney+. The Airbnb special will raise funds for Chicago's La Rabida Children's Hospital, which is dedicated to maintaining and improving the quality of life for each of its patients with complex conditions, disabilities, and chronic illnesses. The winning bidder will get an immersive Home Alone experience, thrilling to the bed set comforter seen in the film, a paint bucket hung from the ceiling that Kevin used to take out the bandits, and the bronze statue that was hit by Little Nero's pizza delivery car. The home was last sold for $1.5 million in 2012. I'm telling you, you got a lot of interesting people from Chicago that would take on this. I mean, I would make it like an escape room or something where you actually hire real criminals to come in and rip off the house, and the people that decide to live there for this one night experience have to defend themselves using traps in the movie. Get on it, people. That would be fun. I would definitely, I'd definitely be down with something like that because, hey, why not? Wouldn't that be the most fun way to spend your Christmas, recreating Home Alone, but for real? I don't know. Maybe people would think that's a little, is it too much? Too soon? Who knows? This next story, this one goes out to my boy Dieter Bastian in Saarbrücken, Deutschland. That's right, Germany, to ban unvaccinated people from cinemas and bars, and vaccines could become mandatory in February. Hey, man, don't get all political with me now. I'm just reporting this is relevant to the marketplace. I mean, movies got to come out in Germany. It's a big market. Germany is set to introduce COVID protocols that will include unvaccinated people being barred from various culture and leisure venues. The expected move comes as the country is up against a heavy fourth wave of the pandemic with more than 70,000 cases reported in the last 24 hours. Yeesh. The highest figures Germany has ever reported to date. Restrictions will only see people who have been vaccinated or those who can evidence a recent recovery from the virus able to go into restaurants, pubs, gyms, cinemas, cultural events, and non-essential shops. The protocols are already in place in several German regions with the highest cases. The tightening of restrictions puts more pressure on large-scale cultural events such as the Berlin International Film Festival, which is due to run February 10 through 20. As Deadline reported yesterday, the festival has been analyzing contingency plans but was already prepping for a so-called 2G festival that will see admission only granted to vaccinated or recently recovered people. It was also confirmed today that a vote will take place on whether vaccines should become mandatory in the country from February. Chancellor Angela Merkel, who is transitioning from government after her party lost the most recent election, has previously said she would vote against compulsory vaccination, but has since reversed the decision. The move follows neighbor Austria announcing it will make vaccines mandatory from February, while Greece has said it'll do the same for the over 60s, with fines being introduced for those who don't comply. So, well, what can we do? Still happening. It's COVID, the bad date that keeps trying to take you to dinner. Not good. This next story, what was the next story? I forgot. It's about Awkwafina. Look at that smile. How come she always puts a smile on my face? Awkwafina, I reported about it yesterday. Nicolas Cage as Dracula and Nicholas Hoult in Universal's Renfield has added Awkwafina to the cast. What a cast. Awkwafina, Nicholas Hoult, in The Great, If you've seen him in The Great, he's great in The Great. And, of course, you've got Awkwafina. I want to see this movie. Now, Awkwafina, coming off a leading turn in Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, is joining Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage in Universal Pictures' monster movie Renfield. Chris McKay, the helmeter behind Amazon's The Tomorrow War and the Lego Batman movie, is directing the feature project, which is due to begin shooting next year in New Orleans. Of course, Renfield first appeared in Bram Stoker's 1997 novel Dracula as a patient in an insane asylum obsessed with drinking blood, deluded into thinking he will find immortality based on his vampire master. The high-profile Renfield continues Awkwafina's rapid Hollywood ascent. The stand-up comedian this year voiced a leading role in Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon, on top of her co-starring turn in Shang-Chi, a pandemic hit that has grossed over $431 million, and she continues to work on her Comedy Central series, Awkwafina is Nora from Queens. She's also part of the voice cast of The Bad Guys, DreamWorks Animation's adaptation of the best-selling children's books that will be released next year, and is playing Scuttle in Disney's all-star live-action take on The Little Mermaid. The latter is due to be released in 2023. So good for Awkwafina. I'm a fan. And, really, who isn't? Now, I don't know why people don't like me reporting on movie or music news, but I'm going to report on music news when I want to, and this is worth reporting on because I am a fan of black magic women. And Carlos Santana has a heart procedure, and he cancels his December shows. Carlos Santana has successfully undergone a heart procedure and is canceling several Las Vegas shows planned for December. In a video message released Wednesday, Santana said that he asked his wife to take him to the hospital Saturday because of an issue with his chest. I'm going to be taking time off for a little bit to make sure that I replenish and rest. The 10-time Grammy winner's heart procedure and recovery prompted the cancellation of his concerts at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino through the end of the year. He's set to resume performances in January. Carlos is doing fantastic and is anxious to be back on stage soon. Vrionis said in a statement, he profoundly regrets, and by the way, that's Michael Vrionis, president of Universal Tone Management. He said in a statement, he profoundly regrets that this speed bump necessitated the cancellation of his upcoming performances. Earlier this year, Santana released the album Blessings and Miracles, which includes collaborations with Rob Thomas, Chris Stapleton, and more. So, Carlos Santana, you get better, and you've got your wife next to you, and she is probably a black magic woman, and she'll put a spell on you to get better. So you get better, sir, and come on back now. Now, okay, this next story, last time I reported on this, people got all pissed, and they're talking about, well, Rob. So, Ben Shapiro's The Daily Wire became a new film distributor last year with the acquisition of a film not many studios wanted. Now they have become, well, I think they're on their way to becoming a mini major. So whatever you think of Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire's politics doesn't really matter. I find the fact that they have a new film distribution wing and they're going all in to be rather exciting. And the first trailer for their movie Shut In has dropped, and it's bringing back, believe it or not, the Brown Bunny's Vincent Gallo. I don't know if there's a blowjob scene in this movie, but anyway, probably not because it's the Daily Wire, but you never know. So the trailer dropped yesterday. Now, this is interesting because this has got a pretty high pedigree. It's called The Shut In, and it's from The Blacklist and The Bloodlist. So The Blacklist and The Bloodlist are two lists in Hollywood where the best scripts, people, development executives, agents, whatever, they vote on the scripts. And this script, The Shut In, was on the top of both The Blacklist, which is covering all of Hollywood, and then The Bloodlist, which is covering specifically horror. So The Blacklist and The Bloodlist thriller, directed by XXX, The Return of Xander Cage, and Disturbia director DJ Caruso, stars actress and singer Rainey Qualley, Love in the Time of Corona, sister of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood actress Margaret Qualley, who was terrific in the recent Maid. As we reported yesterday, the feature will also mark the return of controversial cult actor and director Vincent Gallo. That, by the way, it was Deadline reporting that on Andreas Weisman. This movie centers on a young single mother who is held captive along with her 2 children by a violent ex. As she plots their escape before it's too late, Caruso filmed the movie around Nashville and Waterton, Tennessee. Producers are Dallas Saunier from Bone Tomahawk fan and Amanda Presmick from Run, Hide, Fight, and that was the movie that the Daily Wire first picked up as their first acquisition of Bonfire legend, who acquired the film script in 2018 from screenwriter Melanie Toast. Shut-In first came to the attention as a touted 2019 Blacklist script, also topping the Bloodlist in the same year. The movie was initially set up at New Line with Jason Bateman aboard to direct. After a period of stasis, the option expired and Saunier took it over to the Daily Wire, marking their 3rd collaboration. The pick is being executive produced by Daily Wire co-founders Ben Shapiro, Jeremy Boring, and Caleb Robinson, and will be available in the U.S. exclusively to the site's members beginning in January 2022. I mean, this is actually kind of amazing that the Daily Wire, which did very well with Run, Hide, Fight, is making these movies from big Hollywood people available. So, again, whether you like the Daily Wire or not, I'm just saying they're a new outlet and an exciting one for independent filmmakers, especially horror filmmakers. They're willing to take on some difficult material, which is rather, I would say, exciting. Nightmare Alley. That's right, Nightmare Alley. Guillermo del Toro's newest, which is a remake of an old noir film, was first shown last night, and people are raving about Bradley Cooper and Cate Blanchett's performances. There's been a lot of, wildly diverging opinions on this movie, but it was shown to the press, and it seems that it's getting a lot of just differing opinions, which I find interesting. Christopher Rosen from Gold Derby says, when audiences last saw a feature film from acclaimed director Guillermo del Toro, it was The Shape of Water, a surprising Oscar heavyweight that won Best Picture and scored del Toro Best Director at the 2018 Academy Awards. So expectations for del Toro's follow-up, a fresh adaptation of William Lindsay Gresham's 1946 noir novel Nightmare Alley, which was previously turned into a 1947 noir feature film that I think Criterion has put out, were sky high heading into Wednesday night screenings in New York and Los Angeles. Based on early responses from journalists and pundits, del Toro did not disappoint, though whether Academy members will warm to the film's cold-hearted, very cold-hearted story and characters is another conversation entirely. The movie itself lands as a rock-solid, potentially across-the-board player, bolstered by impeccable craft below the line and a superb ensemble in top form. Vanity Fair awards writer David Canfield wrote, "It's a darker movie than The Shape of Water, though." Oh, yes, it is. And one that feels relatively conventional by modern standards, with a classic kind of anti-hero wading through a murky, suspenseful, engineered take of ambition and deceit. It's hard to see this one stirring enough passion, though, to go all the way. Speculated Variety Film Awards editor Clayton Davis, there are 2 movies within Searchlight Pictures' Nightmare Alley. One makes 8-time nominee Bradley Cooper a long overdue Oscar winner. The other would add another statue to the shelf of visionary director Guillermo del Toro. Depending on which one entices the Academy voter, they could fall for one, both, or neither of the options. The darkly complex and gruesome outing may prove to be more difficult for some conservative moviegoers to take in. Hey, either way, I'm pretty stoked. Guillermo del Toro is a world-class filmmaker. To be honest, though, for me, For me, he's relatively hit and miss. I didn't actually mean to cover myself up that way, but hey, what are you going to do? It's a cool picture. So, I hope it's great. But for me, like I said, sometimes Shape of Water was great. Crimson Peak, beautiful, but didn't really connect with it. And I'm not the biggest fan of Blade 2, but I love his movies like Kronos, Pan's Labyrinth. He's a world-class filmmaker, but really up and down for me in terms of whether I like his movies. But they are all impeccably made. So congratulations, Guillermo, for making another film. I'm still very excited to see it, and you should be too. Joseph Michael, who's been a member here at the channel. He is a Post-Geek Singularity hero for all of you members of the Post-Geek Singularity. He asks, have I seen Encanto yet? I have not. I have not seen Encanto yet, but I will. I'll see any Disney movie. Mexican Iron Man, our friend Mike says, I finally get to catch a show live. Hail the Post-Geek Singularity stream peeps. Hail to the awesome mods, and howdy hail to brother RMB. I bought Tango Shalom. Great job. For those of you who might not know, yes, I did produce and edit Tango Shalom, and who doesn't know that? And unfortunately, I'm going to be retiring the Tango Shalom promo soon. I know you're sad that you'll never see it again. I'm sad. But thank you for that, Mike. And finally, Swiss Santa Claus has a message that goes out to Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell. He sends in a monstrous tip to this channel and says, hello, Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell. Could you please order the A-Team van and the Goldfinger DB5 from Playmobil US? Please wrap them and don't tell Robert until Hanukkah. Well, Swiss Santa Claus, it is Hanukkah, and you just told me. Anyway, I want to thank you for that. The generosity you've shown to this show is beyond reproach, and I want to thank you, sir, for your continued support. And on that note, I want to thank my moderators. I want to thank Joshua Levesque for being here. I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson for being a goof person, just being a good person all the way around. He's not even a moderator. He's just a good guy. I want to thank Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell for being fantabulous, and also apparently going to buy me an A-Team Playmobil van and a A-Team or a Playmobil DB5. So thank you for that. And I want to thank all of you members of the Post-Geek Singularity. Remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And all you have to do is listen. And once again, I am Robert Meyer Burnett. This is the Hollywood Half and Half. And I'm not even half in the bag this morning, but I am enjoying a damn fine cup of coffee. This was the Hollywood Half and Half for Tuesday, December 2nd. Join me tomorrow. Join me later today with as the Sleepy Calamari Boys delve into Squid Game Episode 5. And then, of course, I will see you on Robservations later today. And on that note, as always, have a better day.